Starlight, starlight, our time, starlight, starlight, our
That sound like that Harlem Renaissance Cotton Club in the motherfucker. Giving it all the way up on some real OG shit. Hey, Slick, I got you on this one, baby. Hey, Pete, go on here and mix it all the way up. You know what I'm talking about for the quadruple OG. Lil Stanley, Big Stanley E. Man, rest in peace. St. Louis finest at its best. We represent for the Midwest. Black Starlight, Black Starlight. This is our time. Black Star time. Hey, the none come before mine. It's way before your time. Black Starlight, Black Starlight. This is our time. Black Star time. Hey, the none come before mine. It's way before your time. Black Starlight, Black Power. Take 'em to the Milky Ways, Black showers. Oops, on they watch with that black soap. Take 'em to the Great Pyramids, Black Hope. Feeling so good, you done thought it's Black Coke. If you really want it, you get all this black smoke. Smoke, I'm talking about soot. In Atlanta, put blessing the nook. Hey, about that RBG. Man, I'm talking about that Marcus Garvey. Bob Marley, Annie Malone, I did it all on my own. Hey, I keep a black bow, keep a black bow, all black, I'm in a hat. Black Panther, you know we speak plenty of that. Oh man, that Black Panther, you know we speak plenty of that. Hey man, I'm talking about that Maruca's Tomb, that King Khufu, that Pedro Alfonso Negro. Black Starlight, Black Starlight. This is our time. Black Star time. Hey, the none come before mine. It's way before your time. Black Starlight, Black Starlight. This is our time. Black Star time. Hey, the none come before mine. It's way before your time.
Give me some of that Elijah McCoy, Granville T, Louis Blackmore. Ay, it's full steam straight ahead. I spit the truth till I'm dead. Oops, real niggas don't die. Hell no, real niggas don't lie. Not at all. Not what I'm talking about. Talk about you don't like it, you can walk it out. Walk it out. You talk about it. African MEGUS. Always the blast. I spit these rhymes like a riddle. Riddle. Just bring the sugar, no riddle. No riddle. Yeah, I flow right up on tempo. And play a hater like Phil. Phil. Yeah, I live my life so simple. Oh, this boy gets taken off like the myth.
Yeah, that's why I said Otis Bunker taking off in the Smith. That's the greatest they ever do with a mission control system. You know what I'm talking about?
bro. We gotta fight back, man. We can't keep running, they gon' kill us anyway, fighting to the death. We got to.
We on the grind now.
Turn up. They don't like us, man. We can't turn the cheek no more. It is what it is.
Boots to the ground.
1,200 black people killed by police in 2015.
By any means necessary.
We all
I'm ready for war, I'm forever rebellious. And my heart full of anger. Them shackles up off my wrists and my ankles. I'm roaming with one in the chamber. Had my hands up in that cowboy cafe and said I couldn't breathe and I wasn't restrained. Ran away from them, that pit started dumping. Now when ain't nothing to do but get gangster, won't protest the picking. This shit so sickening. Now these folks killing our women and children. I know my niggas be wildin' and tripping, but now we done witness who really against us. The one with the power to position us in these fucked up conditions. I ain't no Christian, ain't good with forgiving. Ain't turning my cheek, now I'm raising that pistol. Lord, forgive me.
with all my breath, with all my strength, with all my pain, I'm fighting this war. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. No turning back, 'cause I'm free.
Hey, spread the word to my people. Yeah, spirit fell on me, told me fight against the evil, not turn. Not turn, yeah. Fuck the sticks now, nigga, give me burners. Hold up, hey, spread the word to my people. Yeah, spirit fell on me, told me fight against the evil, not turn. Not turn. We in the streets, now we all got burners. Hold up. Hearing voices in my head say I need to be free. Is you blind, my nigga, 'cause it's war in these streets. Every word persecution, you against the police. Shackle and chained up and down, niggas still in these streets. Turned up, yeah. Everybody wanna be a nigga, yeah. Hey, but don't nobody wanna be a nigga. Nah. We keep on begging, what the fuck you think they finna give us? Black lives don't matter, boy, you still a nigga. Still treat me like a criminal. I bust back, fade to black, you don't hear me though. I don't fear it, if I give in, I gain. Washed in the blood, so I live for the game. Truth make me free, so I bang in his name. AR-15 letting my freedom reign. Insane, to repeat once again. 400 years, then we deep in this thing. Endgame.
Get out my way! That's not my baby! No, not my baby, no!
Black mama still crying on TV. These young brothers still dying on TV. Crackers on the camera still lying on TV. 3% rappers might put it on the CD. And our leaders, most of them speechless. How you gon' preach when you ain't trying to reach us? I'm Denmark busy, but watching my own. But some of our people might help them defeat us. Watch out for leeches, snakes in the grass, I done peep them. They glare in your eye, I can see it. Heart full of hate and the mind full of secrets. Don't need to be around me, you niggas deceitful. I'm sorry, but Lord, I done got tired of praying. My patience too thin to be peaceful. It's eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. 400 years, bitch, it's time to get even.
Hand me that Vega, dog. Finna twist it up. My daddy always told me to look before I leap and think before I speak, and watch out for the company I keep, and always always pack a heat when I'm out in the streets. Keep an eye out for the crooked police. I'ma let you see the world through my eyes. I'ma let you see, expose all the lies. Lie. Born in the belly of the beast, prison of Babylon, refugee from the east. These mean streets, seems like the world just got beef with a nigga. Whole system designed to slay, he had a nigga, yeah. I used to think that's how the game go, and it ain't gon' change, so I'm like, fuck it, I'll just sell dough and find a bad chick to bang. Hit the club and make it rain. Find a flies whipping, sitting on some things. Wrong understanding, never commanded that my spirit be fed. What if I told you everything you thought was true was planted in your head by this wicked ass system? Frontline by politicians who will never expose their true intentions. Low population, 9/11 was a fake. Masonic order staring niggas right in the face. We got fluoride in our water, chemtrails in the sky. Adam White's hot law fires. I'ma let you see it. Yeah, the world through my eyes. Yeah, I'ma let you see it. Yeah, expose all the lies. My daddy always told me, look before I leap and think before I speak, and watch out for the company I keep. And always pack a heat when I'm out in the streets. Keep an eye out for the crooked police. Yeah, my spirit vexed with these priests, rapping in wolves as they pretend to be sheep. Hope your pockets deep. For a small fee, you can get saved, my nigga. Whole system devised to get the tithes out of nigga. Yeah, I used to think that's how the game go, and it ain't gon' change, and I just couldn't get the Holy Ghost. In the pews, I felt shame, cause I didn't see the change. Never knowing that him and I's the same. Romans chapter 7. What if I told you you was being misled, and everything you thought you knew was true was planted in your head by a paid off bishop, Babylonian henchman? Instead of the truth, you get religion, son of salvation, indoctrination with lies. These pagan customs ain't even of the Most High. We got Rex 84 and Bohemian Grove Isles, and still in debt to the Rothschilds. I'ma see the world through my eyes. I'ma let you see, expose all the lies. My daddy always told me, look before I leap and think before I speak, and watch out for the company I keep. I always have to eat when I'm out in the streets, and keep an eye out for the crooked police. Lie. What if I told you you was being misled, and everything you thought you knew was true was planted in your head? Yeah. Lie.
Oh shoot, let me get myself together. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm having complications in the studio. Well, welcome to Dirty Laundry, y'all. The podcast where we unpack the hard truths and the heavy baggage that affect the Black community. These are the topics that are too taboo for other cultures to touch, but too uncomfortable for us to take full accountability for. But not here. So grab a seat, brace yourself, and go ahead and get ready, because we about to air it out now. This is Dirty Laundry, Black Therapy. Tonight, I think I have a really controversial topic to go over, in that I'm gonna be talking about something that's so controversial for Black men and just men in general, and that's crying. Black men don't cry. The vast majority of us live in survival mode. We live, sleep, eat, breathe in survival mode. And tonight, I'm going to be unpacking some of my own dirty laundry. I'm going to be telling some truths about myself and talking to somebody that is very near and dear to me, somebody who looks almost exactly like me and shares the same background as me, if you would say same background. Tonight, I'm going to have on an entrepreneur, an overall great man, a father, and what I would say is the best brother that a brother could ever have. Tonight, I'm gonna be talking openly with my brother about issues that I had coming up with our dad. And I know they say black men don't cry, but I cry about this all the time. So without further ado, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna introduce my brother. I'm gonna let him on and give him a warm welcome. Dirty Laundry. This is my brother, Lord Reg of Virtuoso Designs.
What up?
What's up, bro? What's
What's
up, bro?
going on, man?
What's the word? Let me do you like I do everybody else. Let me give you a big, ginormous, Dirty Laundry round of applause for being my guest tonight. I really appreciate you, bro. I really appreciate you. So, black men don't cry. First of all, what's up with you, man?
Chilling,
what's up with
chilling.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm
chilling?
Good. I'm great. Yeah.
I see you. A lot of y'all don't know that my brother is in Las Vegas, a very hot. You in Vegas? What's up with Vegas, man? Is it hot? Super hot?
Yeah, it's hot. I'm trying to stay cool, man. Hitting 105s, just scorching every day. But as you know, I work at home. I'm in front of this computer most of the time, sitting right up under the AC unit, so I'm staying cool out here.
Right.
Yeah, and take it out.
Right.
And summer's in full effect, man, out here in Vegas.
Exactly. Bro, it's been 102, 103 in St. Louis.
Yeah, I heard y'all
It's
getting
crazy.
slapped, and y'all got the humidity, so y'all can't breathe. Y'all
Right.
can't
It's
breathe
like,
out there.
you already know what time it is, boy. This your hometown on act brand new.
Oh, yeah. It don't get that hot all the time, but when it do, it's unbearable.
Yeah. So, you see the topic. I don't hold any punches. You know that, right? You know what we getting into.
Sure.
I prep my brother. The topic is black men don't cry, or we not supposed to cry, and that's a real taboo topic for a lot of men. A lot of men don't think that it's good to cry. We don't think that it's a masculine, or we don't think that it's a man thing to cry over certain things. But I can tell you right now, bro, I done been crying on the phone with you before, you know what I'm saying? And just crying over the situation with our family, with myself and our dad. And it, you know how I felt when he passed away and everything, just to bring y'all up to speed. This is my brother, Reggie, you know what I'm saying? But before we get off into the topic, I really would like to tell them what you do. As a matter of fact, why don't you tell them what you do? Why don't you tell the audience what you do? What is it that you do? Because I can tell it. Look, I'm a gas it up. I promise you, I'm a gas up because this family business. You feel what I'm
Always,
saying?
yeah.
But before we unpack our dirty laundry, you know what I'm saying? I want to let y'all know that this is a wonderful businessman, an entrepreneur, a dad, new baby. But tell us a little bit about yourself, Reggie, personally. Tell them what you do.
For sure. So yeah, as you know, I'm Reggie, stationed in Las Vegas, but I'm a creative, and I know that's a broad spectrum word, but I deal with visual communication. So I run a design studio that does print and design for small to medium brands, everything from trade show displays all the way down to business cards, as well as like media kits and social media graphics for them. Anything you need to build on what you already have as a brand. I make you look good. So it's my job to come up with graphics and visuals that pertain to what you're putting out in the world, grasping that vibe, and helping you replicate it into something that's digestible for your audience. That, in a nutshell. On the other
In a
side,
nutshell.
yeah, by passion, I'm an artist, so I create small figurines and cartoons and things like that to keep the creative juices flowing. Because what I do is very much so hands-on. I like to keep my personal creations to keep myself loose. I got to keep creating for myself because that's part of actually kind of leeway into our topic. That's another way that I process. As a black man, I developed art and that type of expression as another way to process while trying to figure out and navigate my way through what it is to be a man and what it is to be a father and what it is to be a provider as well as a human being who has needs himself. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, that's my
All right.
whole spiel.
So, Virtuoso Design Studio is the name of your studio.
Yes.
So, how did you get started with Virtuoso Design? I mean, I'm your big brother, but I still don't know the grassroots of why you started to do the business that you do. I know you're a creative. I know you draw. You've been drawing since you was a kid. Watching you draw. Our daddy could draw. You know what I'm saying? And all of us.
You can draw. Yeah, you can draw.
I can draw real good. So y'all know I could draw. The logo, my brother and I, we came up with the logo. The Dirty Laundry logo, I freehanded that. And then Reggie digitized it and turned it into what you see right now. So
yeah, give it that cartoon feel.
Yeah, we are creatives over here. But like, when did you start Virtuoso?
Technically on paper, I started it in 2017, but in my brain, I started it long before. I wasn't sure what I wanted it to be called, but how it came about was I moved out of St. Louis in 19. As you know, all through high school, my childhood years, I was doodling, drawing and stuff on the side of papers. Actually, drawing when I'm supposed to be doing other stuff, supposed to be doing my classwork, but I was always infatuated with creating things. Moved to Vegas to start a life and see what opportunities it had outside of the Louvre, and that kind of followed me. And I started freelancing. I got a couple of small clients to let me do some of their logos, and I was using that as side money while I was pursuing other endeavors. And then one day it dawned on me. I was like, "Oh, I'm pretty good at this. Let me go try to get a real job." And every job told me, "You got to have a degree. You got to have a degree. You got to have a degree." I was like, "Cool." So this degree thing is definitely a topic for everybody. So I decided to go get a degree. Went to ITT, right, to learn visual communications.
Great program. ITT.
The commercials.
Technical Institute. I remember that.
Yeah.
The commercials. ITT, Technical Institute.
Yeah. So I ended up going there to get a degree, and from there started looking for a job being a creative. It started with graphic design and transitioned into more of branding. How the business started was I worked for a few companies, large format as well as apparel. And while those opportunities was great, there wasn't a lot of room for growth. And the thing about being a creative is you never stay in the same spot. You're always keeping up with the times. You're always developing your skills. And as my skills progressed and my knowledge progressed and what I had to offer to progress, I don't feel like the corporate setting had space for me to win financially. While my life was progressing, my paycheck was not.
Right.
So I decided,
that was low.
Yeah. I decided, I could take matters into my own hand with the few clients I had. I had a couple of clients that I've had over 10 years because of this. They still come back to me, and I took that leap of faith a year and a half ago and went full time. I do not have a 9-to-5. I create full time, and it's been lucrative. Little up and down, dealing with the technical side of it, but I'm not tied to a 9-to-5.
Tell me how that transition was for you. Tell me how you felt about transitioning from being an employee of another company to stepping out completely into entrepreneurship and just saying, you know what, I'm gonna believe in everything that I'm doing. I mean, I know where we come from, my background. Like, I gotta tell y'all about my father. You know, he always had that. Our daddy had that grind in him. You know what I'm saying? He had that hustle in him. Um, so I know we have that spirit. I mean, look at the two of us.
Right.
We are in our father's image completely. But I'm saying, how was that transition for you from being a paid employee of another company, having that stability? You got a wife. You know what I'm saying? You got responsibilities. How was that for you? How did that feel to you? What were some of your thoughts? What were some of your emotions making that transition?
I gotta say, it was a scary situation, but it was one of those situations where I was at the edge of fed up, and like I have nothing to lose. And while some people may have a different story, my story was basically I had to make a decision. I had to give myself an ultimatum. Either I'm gonna do it now or it's not going to happen. And it basically came about where the company I was working at was making cuts, and I had this extreme concern that I was going to be a part of that cut. So I went through this overdrive mode in my head for weeks. Wasn't sleeping good, wasn't eating good, wasn't really processing things really good, because I had this overhanging, looming fear that I was not going to have any other options come a month when these cuts were all said and done. Right? So I devised a plan. At the end of the day, I didn't get cut, but I started investing so much into my own business to where I just had the monkey bar it. It turned into I'm making more money at home than I am at the business, and it's time to go. And I may not have the nest egg that I want to have. I may not have the connections that I need to have, but all that come later. I was more concerned about putting myself in a situation for my family to be lucrative, but also for my own mental health. It was something very draining about being somewhere where you can just be sustained, but you couldn't grow. And it was eating me at me on the inside. Because I saw myself as this growing person, but I was in a situation that restricted me from doing so. And it just was pain. It was very painful, right? It was painful for me to be there, but it was also painful at the prospect for leaving. So I had to really get down in the dirt with myself and be like, are you able to do this? Like, do you trust yourself? Have you put in enough time to really push into this situation? And because of the rapport I built with myself and God, having that faith that I'm gonna be taken care of, whether it go left or right, I'm gonna make it out. I took that jump, and I think it's the best decision I ever made. Not to say that every night's been a good night's sleep, but it's the best decision I made. I can kind of move and move and groove the way I want to move.
I got a lot of entrepreneurial friends, and a lot of people don't know the difference between being an entrepreneur and being self-employed. Do you feel like you're more self-employed than more of an entrepreneur? But see, I know, you know what I'm saying? I know what's going on behind the scenes, but I'd like for you to, like, that's cool that you was able to make that transition and get through the hard parts. And of course, you're going to experience hard parts all the time, but it was just good that you was able to make that transition over. So the name of your company, what is it?
Virtuoso Design Studio. And I got that from our love of music. A virtuoso is a creative savant.
So you named your company Virtuoso because our daddy can sing.
Not only that, it's pretty much. It's not only that he sings. Yeah, it's just that I have a love for music. I had this philosophy that you should create in an environment that you need to create. So if I'm doing something and it's chill, like a spa or something, I'll put on jazz, because music has a lot to do with my creative wire. Although I don't sing and do music like you, I still have an affinity with it.
Everybody always talk about me doing music. Y'all didn't know I do music. I do music. I've been doing music.
Yeah, you do music.
That's what I was synonymous with. But so So it's safe to say you got a lot of your business savvy from dad.
Yeah, 100. I watched him
100%
grind
everything.
most of our life. I watched him, whether it was at work or building something at home or fixing something, always got your hands on something.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm saying, Virtuoso Studios. What else you got going on, Riz? Tell me what else you got going on.
One thing we talked about with the characters, I ain't got that all copyrighted and stuff yet, but that's gonna be a whole nother segment that we'll do with the
Yeah,
characters.
y'all ain't even
I
here.
got
We
you.
got it's something on the horizon for the masses. We got brewing.
Yeah, it's in the incubator right now. It's cooking up. Yeah, it's cooking up.
Right.
But
So
I go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I've since transitioned into consulting. So I not only do the print side of business, I help your business figure out what the next step is. So that's a whole nother bracket to what I'm doing, as well as the design side. So that's what I'm doing creatively. So all of my entrepreneur aspects, it's like a total of 3 business, but they all go into one. One is subscription based. One is more of an a la carte. Hey, I need this done for this convention. And Vegas is such a big spot. So I kind of do like the Uber of print. You call me, I get it done, I deliver it. That's a whole nother aspect aside from me sitting down and working with your brand. So having both of those in the same creative space, but facilitating print and a product, but also facilitating the look and feel of the product, they go hand in hand, but they're 2 separate entities.
So y'all don't know my little brother. I told you I got the dopest little brother in America. Y'all ain't even understanding that. So tonight, y'all, I told y'all I was just going. This is more of just my brother and I just airing out. We were gonna go over the topic of Black men don't cry. So y'all know we come from the same father, but different. I would say a different family setup, different family, so to speak. Not family, but different. We grew up
different eras of his life.
Yeah, different eras of his life and different households too. You know what I'm saying? And this is gonna be my first thing that I air out. When I was younger, I grew up in U City. Shout out to U City. I'm from U City. A lot of people don't know that I was raised by my stepfather. You know what I'm saying? I was raised by my stepfather. My mom got with my stepfather, and let's just say that the situation was less than savory. It was very abusive for me. It was a very toxic environment for me. Um, Not to defame anybody, I had some good times where I grew up at, but by and large, for the most part, it was a toxic environment for me. You know what I'm saying? So that and not being around and being raised with dad put me in a, you know what I'm saying, put me in a different headspace when I was younger. You know what I mean? Um, Coming up in U City was good because U City felt like family. You know what I'm saying? If you know anybody from U City, if you know how we grew up, we all grew up like U City was one big ginormous family. You know what I mean? So I think those are some of the things that kept me growing up. You know what I mean? But I always yearned to have that relationship and be in the space where I was with dad. You know what I'm saying? So, but you grew up with daddy the whole time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I had a lot of dark times where um I felt abandoned, you know what I'm saying? Felt unwanted. You know what I mean? I just felt like, why dad wouldn't come swoop me up or and put some values into me. But like I started to understand as I got older that life be what it is. You know what I'm saying? And when you have children don't come with an instruction manual. You know what I mean? But like to the topic, that I went through a whole bunch of different emotions. I went from crying, I went from sad to mad to stoic, so to speak, where I wouldn't even cry because I had to build my resilience. You know what I mean? Build up my resilience and say that I wouldn't let anything penetrate me emotionally. You know what I'm saying? I just wasn't, I just grew up like that. And, you know, the reason why I brought this topic up and even decided to talk about this is because of the conversation that we was having the other night. I was like, you know, I can't call the show Dirty Laundry and not air out some of mine. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As we get further into the show, I'll be airing out some more stuff. But I mean, my experience was like when we was coming up, I got this lyric in a song. I say, you know, they say, mama baby, daddy maybe. He took a wedge for that little piece of cheese. That shit crazy. My daddy love only got to graze me. So when I was saying that lyric in a song, I was saying that dad's love only got to, you know, be there for me in a short amount of time. You know what I mean? I remember the first box of cereal that daddy bought me was a box of Lucky Charms. You know what I'm saying? And he used to come pick me up from uh, from my house when we lived on Avondale with my grandmother, and that was off of Natural Bridge. And it was this, I never forget, we used to go to this place, uh, Baskin and Robbins.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Baskin and Robbins. Uh, Baskin and Robbins probably still around, but Baskin and Robbins, I'll never forget, it was 30 home of the 32 flavors. You know what I'm saying? And daddy would come pick us up in his truck. He had a little Isuzu pup, little truck, and he would take my sister and I to go get ice cream. So I have I have a couple of memories when we was younger, you know what I'm saying, that stood out to me. So how was your experience with that coming up? What was your experience with him growing up?
Well, it was a lot. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
It was
Go
a
ahead,
lot.
bro.
It was a lot different than yours because as I'm the youngest of five, so I ended up coming in on the back end of all, of all the kids, right? So like,
You the
uh,
youngest. You the
I
baby.
remember, right? I remember us hanging out. I remember everybody being together, but I was so young. I was a kid. I didn't really understand the dynamics of what was going on. But what I can attest to is that I got to see my dad change, and that was like a big factor in my life. So right around the time we was in elementary school, I remember dad had some stuff he was dealing with. He drank, he did things, that wasn't completely on the up and up, and he
What
started to
daddy do?
make.
What he do?
He
This
was
dirty
hey,
laundry.
he,
This
he,
dirty
he
laundry, bro.
yeah, he used to drink. I remember one time I drank.
I think daddy used to, I think daddy probably used to play with his nose a little bit too, Reggie.
See, I think about how young I was.
Yeah,
I don't
wasn't
I
privy
don't
to it.
know. Yeah, I didn't know the full dynamics, but I know that a lot of there was some other trails in our family that dealt with a lot of other types of addictions and stuff like that.
Well, the
But
thing
I'm
is that remember where they was coming up at. You gotta let me
yeah,
give you the
100%.
history on it. So
Yeah,
the history on it is that during the '80s, that was a thing.
yeah,
Cocaine was considered a party drug, and then in the '80s, they crack hit the neighborhoods, and boom, you got destabilized families, you got all kinds of stuff going on, and it really did impact our family though, like for real. But
right.
go ahead, I digress. Go ahead.
No, and I'm going from my experience. I'm a real believer. Experience uh, breeds your perception. Your perception scopes how you view the world, how you construct the world. My parents, I know for a fact now that I'm a full 35 years old. There's a lot of things that I didn't experience from my parents when I was a kid by design. They sheltered us and they shielded us from stuff right around this change with pops. I remember one time he was picking us up from daycare. He had been drinking, and we had got into a car accident, and that was the first time I really kind of got shaken out of the limbo I was in. I was very young, 7, 8 years old, but I knew
Right,
we wasn't supposed to be getting in no car crashes. Like I didn't really understand what was going on,
but you knew
and
daddy had fucked up.
yeah,
You knew
with
he had fucked up.
family members showed up, and things got dealt with the way they got dealt with, and then that's the childhood in the mind of a child. I got to see him. Hey, I'm gonna quit smoking. I'm gonna quit drinking. We started going to church, and our lives took a different trajectory. And that's the childhood I remember. You know what I'm saying? I got the getting his life together dad, and I got blessed because of that. But I understand that even though we came from the same place, that's why I said we came from two different eras. I got to see the end of one era and him turn over a new leaf, whereas your childhood was well established in the previous era. So we had that different type of upbringing. But Dad was always a stand-up guy. He always took care of us, vouched for us, but he was always, what I loved about Pops, he was always direct. He's like, hey, it ain't perfect, but we gonna do what needs to be done. Right? Like,
for sure.
Yeah, always look well into the matter. He taught me how to think. Even though the example may not have been perfect, he was quick to express to me, hey, you know, we can be better, we can do better, we can advance, we can grow. You don't have to stay the same. You can't change your mistakes, but you can atone for them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think I've spent a lot of my life understanding both sides of the spectrum. Sometimes some people only got 50% to give, but if that's all you got to give what you can. So I feel like, So I feel like when he was out there doing his thing, doing his party thing, he was a higher percentage was being taken up of that, and that very much affected the early stages, your stage of the family.
Right.
And it was.
But you know what's crazy is that as I got older, right, when I started getting older and I started having situations of my own with my own children, I started to see that, you know, how things can get really trying for you when you don't do things in a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And like I tell my oldest daughter, I said, listen, baby, you know, parenting doesn't come with an instruction manual.
Not at all.
You don't. It doesn't come with an instruction manual. But the sometimes I think as parents we don't understand the wound we inflict upon our children until our children get older and start, you know, saying you did this to me, and
they start digging. Yeah.
Damn, I didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
you know, to stay true to the topic, you know, a lot of stuff that I didn't understand, I cried about. You know, and it's a lot of us. I don't think people understand that it's a lot of men out here that have some unresolved things going on with them. That comes from their childhood with their parents, not just their daddy, but their mama too. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's wounds there. You know what I'm saying? And as Black men, I don't think that we're in a space that's safe enough for us to be able to have these conversations. Hence why I wanted to talk to you about it and do it live so people can see, you know, like, hey, listen, we all have experiences.
Yeah.
We all have experiences. So with that, your experience with our father was, from what I'm hearing that verse, you know what I'm saying? It was like, I remember Dad being one way and Daddy being another way. So explain that. Like, what was that like in the house, though? Like, to transition from that? Because I remember some dark times with us, you know what I'm saying? Like, without airing out our personal, deepest, darkest things. That's not what I'm going to do. We're not doing that. But I'm saying, like, I remember some pretty tumultuous times, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'll tell you this. What changed it for me was I knew a change was happening when the house got quiet. When I was a kid.
Explain that. What you mean? You talking about?
So when I was a kid. Yeah. When I was a kid,
like,
and Daddy would drink or something would go on, it would get loud. Whether it be music, whether it be yelling, whatever. One of my other brothers get into something and they dealing with that and they can't agree with how it needs to be dealt with. It's loud again, you know? Something happened with our little sister.
How did that affect you though? How did that make you feel though? Like, think about it.
It made me real reclusive. If you remember, I used to wear headphones all the time. This is where that affinity of music come from.
I just never knew that you was doing that because of that.
Yeah, I used to shut down, right? Because like it's only so much that your parents can hide from you. It's only so quiet that you can dip off into a room and have an argument and come back and the energy is weird. You know what I'm saying? Like it's only so much
Yeah.
you can do that before your kids figure it out. And as much as your parents try to shield you from arguments and family situations, because you know, black families, there's always some type of drama. Sometimes it wasn't even the drama going on in our house. It's an
Right.
uncle or auntie house that they need to help and intervene or deal with. And now the hecticness and the stress has showed up in my house. And the way I dealt with it is I was shut down. And the reason I was
Right.
shut down is very on topic. It's very hard to express to your parents that you have big feelings and emotions that they call when they don't understand that you have the experience to go with it, because they believe that they've done an immaculate job with shielding you from disaster, shielding you
Right.
from your auntie is taking some drugs and we need to go help her out, shielding you from, oh, this auntie having a problem with her boyfriend and I need to go help him out. Like the whole situation that's going on in the house, that whole don't repeat anything that you see here, that whole,
Right.
you know, what happens in this house stays in the house. You internalize that. You internalize, well, I can't talk to anybody about what's going on. And as a kid, I don't really know if what's going on is really bad enough for me to talk about. But then you
Right.
sit on it and you stew on it and you realize years later, yo, I wouldn't leave my room. I wouldn't have conversations with people. I literally lived in a audio world. I would play music and kind of just float through life because it puts the kids on eggshell, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
If mom and dad, you can't, and then like you don't want to do the thing where you ask mom for something, you go ask dad for something, and they don't agree, and then you the reason they fighting because dad said yeah, but mom said no, and you know, so it's like
Right.
I stopped asking for stuff, right? I just like, hey, I'm cool. I don't want to be a burden to this situation at all,
Right.
and that's a lot for a 7-year-old, 8-year-old kid
Exactly.
to handle. It wasn't until 9, 10 that we started doing, like we was always doing family trips, but it started to be more intentional for us to be a unit as a family. And they would have me and my sister interact with each other, and my dad would be like, oh, you need to protect her, you need to be on her side, because my you know, our sister's very introverted, so
Yeah.
because you know,
I ain't even gonna say her name, but she'll appear and be like,
don't talk about me.
don't talk
Yeah.
about me. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
She introverted, so I dealt with that, and we started really slowly grooving into a very safe environment that it was not always there. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. So how did that I know that was like that had to be, and on the other side, here I am going through my own thing and thinking that everything is peaches and cream on that side.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I'm growing up thinking that y'all just left me over here because my mom was going through, like I told you, you know, the old man was on what he was on. And I always yearn for the old man to just pull up one day and just be like, come on, let's go.
Right.
We out. You know what I'm saying? To really deliver me from that kind of like tyranny. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
lo and behold, on the other side, you going through your own battles and stuff on the inside of the house, and it's not as peaches and cream as I think it is over there for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So what was it like in your teenage years? Because for me in the teenage years, you remember what happened to me. And here's my second piece of laundry that's filthy. I went to jail. You remember when I went to jail?
Yeah.
Yeah. You remember when I went to jail? Yeah, I went to jail at 15. I was 15, 15, about to be 16. I was like 15 and a half, like 15 and 3/4 of 16. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I did what I did on Delmore, and I was lashing out. You know what I mean? If I could explain it, going back and retracing that, and going back to that time when I had gotten into trouble, all that trouble, because it was a thing. You remember how big of a thing it was? Because Daddy had to get the lawyer, and I wound up coming to live at your house and all of that. You remember that, right?
So what's funny is I remember it, but nobody told me what was happening.
Right.
And I was already in that I'm just gonna be quiet. But
so you was already in isolation mode, like
yeah. When we was on that was at Cambria, right? When we was on Cambria, and you came to stay with us, and they was dealing with our other brother and everything. That was a lot because they was already dealing with circumstances with our other brother, and then you, and then me. Yeah, but then for me, it was like, okay, cool. Now I get to sit up. I used to sit up and watch y'all watch Tales from the Crypt from behind the couch, because I used to. None of that stuff was available to me. None of that adult stuff and hanging out with your older brother and stuff. None of that stuff was available to me. So when you came, I thought it was a party as a kid, because I love you. They ain't never told me that he didn't done something bad. This is just my brother that get to come stay with me. So now I'm like, okay, can we? I used to ask you, yeah. I'm like, yo, you want to play the game? Because our other brother wouldn't really do that with me. Y'all was in high school. Our gap was so big that we didn't really.
So we had a significant gap at that time.
Yeah. So I was like,
I'm high school. You was elementary.
Elementary.
You was elementary school then.
Yeah. So
you didn't know.
Yeah, at that point, because you was a teenager and I was a kid, I was kicking it. I was like, okay, he get to come hang out. I had no idea that you had done something and that this was a whole not a laughing matter, but I thought it was gonna be great. It wasn't until years later.
Right.
That I'm gonna talk about that too. You did.
You said what?
You did.
Yeah.
So
because you used to ask me.
Yeah, fast forward.
I gotta say this. Hold on, because what's funny is that you remember that box that I had on my leg. You used to tease me about it. You used to be like, "What's that?" and try to pick at it. And I used to tell you, "Don't try to pick it off." You used to try to pull it off. Take this off your leg. I was on house arrest, for those of you who don't
see. That's how young I was. I didn't know.
Yeah, I was on house arrest, and you was like, "What's this on your leg? What's this?" And you would try to pull it off. And I used to remember Daddy used to come by and be like, Don't mess with him about that. Don't mess with that. He used to be serious about that. Everything was serious when I got in trouble. It was serious. But go ahead.
I didn't really get that. But then fast forward years later, like you was talking about my teenage years. Good segue. In my teenage year, we lived in St. Louis. There's only so much you can protect me from. Right?
So you saying Daddy never was trying to protect you from me?
No, they was trying to protect me from everything. I didn't know about people's drug addictions. I assumed, but nobody talked to me like an adult until I lived in a whole nother city for 10 years and then came back. So mind you, I moved out at 19. I moved to Vegas at 19. So up until that point.
I remember when you first moved to Vegas.
Yeah, up until that point.
Every day I'm hustling, nigga. We was hustling.
Dirty
lines. I'm gonna tell it.
Yeah, we was doing movies. We was doing all the stuff. I was hustling, but that's the whole other thing because I was living a whole nother life. I had become accustomed to my parents wanting to be a certain way, and they were just convinced that I just needed to be shielded from the world. But I also had external influences. We have a really big family. I got cousins on both sides. So around my teenage years, I was trying to stay wholesome, but going to high school and doing all the other stuff and not really having money coming in the house, I figured out how to make money for myself. Also, we had a dad that taught us discipline. So like 14, he's like, look, I ain't buying you no draws. I ain't buying you no stuff. I need you to figure it out. I need you to start working.
I do this.
Yeah.
I'm horrible at it. I'm horrible. You know why? Because I do my son the same exact way.
Yeah. He was like, you growing up, man.
Right now at 13, like, hey, look, bro, you have to figure some stuff out. But see, that goes towards what we're talking about. We get taught, and that's crazy because growing up in different households, but still getting the same tutelage. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got that from Dad on a genetic level, but I wasn't raised to do that. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just something that, and I won't lie. My stepfather taught me how to hustle early. You know what I'm saying? I was hustling too, but it was embedded in me to do that. And I see now that I trickle that down into my son too. You know what I'm saying? He's 13 and he teaches boxing. So, you know, he goes to boxing. You know, your nephew go to boxing. So
Yep.
he got somebody that he teach boxing. He make money every way doing it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But to unpack a lot of the trials that we had is the basis of this conversation because like I like I said, I ain't gonna lie to you. I grew up thinking that y'all had the grass green on the other side. Y'all was in Moline Acres at the time. It wasn't all
Mm-hmm.
messed up like it is now. I was, you know, all the white folks was over there. White people, it was white people over there. Now,
Right.
when white people are in the area, you be like, these motherfuckers done made it. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I'm like, damn, daddy over there living good. And you telling me that you had your own internal struggles in the household, you know, which is it teaches you to be stoic. And I think that's the basis of what I'm saying is that do black men cry? Do we experience hardships in our childhood that
Mhm.
we need to be able to express and be expressive to a person in a safe space? Be able to express these woes in a safe space. Because I'm gonna keep it real with you. For a long time, all of my stuff was like outburst. You remember that? I was like really
Yeah.
explosive until I got, and then I stopped. I stopped doing that when I got an opportunity to come over to the house and be with y'all. But then when I came there, it got kind of wild there too. And you know why, you know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
the relationship with your mother and I was not the best one, you know what I'm saying? Because I felt like she was playing favoritism to, you know, to our brother, you know what I mean? And like you said before, it was a thing. So all of this trauma built up in me started to make me callous, you know,
Yeah.
make me feel like I can't express myself and be in a safe space to express it to somebody. I mean, it's a lot of men just walking around like if I remember when you were coming out of the coming from behind the veil, so to speak, like
Mm-hmm.
this what the fuck y'all been doing? This is what I've been. Yeah, why y'all didn't tell me type shit? You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
did that put you in a position where you started to become stoic as well? Did you start to be callous? Because you said you start closing yourself off and putting on
Ye-
earmuffs and shit. And
Yeah. So I
'cause I
think a
remember
lot of
that.
yeah, I think a lot of my bottling up came from awareness. So not everybody has the awareness in their situation, but what really eats me up is that I was aware that there were other problems that were
Yeah,
pushing and pressing in the family, and then
yeah,
I deemed myself insignificant. And then
right.
having other influences like uncles and friends and just people in the neighborhoods like, oh, what you crying about that for? People got to make rent, people got to eat, put food on the table, and you want to be crying about how you feel. You want to be crying about
Right.
how nobody listens to you. Like I'm the youngest of five. Like I was ignored more times than not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, we
You know
did.
what I'm saying?
We
So
didn't
it's
get a lot
kind
of
of
attention. I see that. So you
yeah,
felt invisible, damn near.
yeah. I was even told like, oh, you was the fifth kid. That's why you don't have a lot of pictures. Like, because there's a lot more pictures of the older kids because they were new and shiny. But I
Bro,
was the fifth kid that just kind of wiggled his way into the situation. I'm grateful to be here, but at the same time, being an adult, going back, taking inventory, I'm realizing I didn't become my full self until I got out and realized I was holding myself back from expectations or just things that other people put on me. Like,
yeah,
yo, my feelings are valid, but as a kid, when you see like, oh, we eating spaghetti for the fifth time this week, there must not be no money around here.
right,
At that point, my feelings are moot because now
right.
what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go knock on the door after my mom and dad been arguing and tell them that I have nightmares all the time. I used to have night terrors. You remember that? I used to have
Yep.
nightmares all the time. Like I wouldn't even tell people because
Reggie,
why
Reggie, on
I'm
the
a
other
burden.
side of town, listen, on the other side of town, I was getting my ass beat. You know what I'm saying? And when I
And it's
say, and you know, people like to talk about old fashioned ass whoopers. No, 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 no.
some
I'm gonna
off the
tell you,
wall.
I'm talking about like some real, um, some real, dysfunctional shit. Now we make it through, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, towards the topic, black men don't cry. You we're a lot. I've heard Shahrazad Ali talk about it. I've heard Dr. Francis Cress Wilson talk about it. I've heard so many of our black leaders talk about how black people operate in survival mode.
Survival mode, yeah.
Yes.
And the thing is, we don't even know it until we step out of it and do inventory.
Right. Until we step out of it and do inventory. So, like, I mean, to those of you watching, to the men watching this more specifically, I got to get a lot of y'all on here so you can express yourself, because it's a lot of men out here like suicide. Like, I was suicidal before, bro. I'm gonna keep it real with you. You know what I'm saying? It's dirty laundry. It was a point in time in my life where I had felt really low, and I felt like, I didn't have the support that I needed. What's crazy is here you are on the other side of town going through the same exact thing
in a different way.
Some of the same, it just in a different way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So were there any times where you cried about it? Was there any times where you wanted to reach out, you know what I'm saying, and didn't get the help that you needed with it? You know what I mean? Because I was there. I was always there. And we're gonna talk about this too, because you said something to me a little while back. And I was like, what? I never do that. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
It's dirty laundry, so we might as well go ahead and air it out. I cried a lot. I cried a lot in my private time. There was a few times that I went to people and cried about it. And the result was less than desirable. And it made me start to resent the person. So rather than me turning my anger towards people, I did away with it. Like when we was hanging out and, doing our thing, and I was inviting people over, and we was hanging out my teen years when I was really in the streets. Mm-hmm. It was almost like I was there because that was the only place that I could feel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I could be my honest and true self and tell people about themselves and be raw and genuine, because you know how we are. It took me a long time to filter how I talk to people. But growing up to where you had to be proper or you had to be a certain way, you couldn't be out here just acting any kind of way. Sometimes you need that outlet. Like with boxing and stuff like that and football, I needed to do physical stuff to where I could just go rock somebody and be angry, because I had no outlet for that. And then the outlets for social interaction, the longer you neglect socializing and talk about your feelings, the more awkward and more it's just the harder it gets. I remember talking to a mentor. I was probably like 13 or 14 years old and telling them how depressed and how bad I was feeling, but I wasn't going to do anything to myself. It was just this lingering feeling. And then they go tell everybody you know and love the most personal thing you didn't ever built up the courage to tell somebody, and now you lose faith in people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and we didn't have this type of relationship. We was cool, we was tight, but we was all both on a different thing. But now we've grown and we've matured, and we put healing and like black therapy on the top of our list, putting ourselves in a situation to where we ask each other the hard questions and have discussions about it. That breeds more healthy communication for these to be normal conversation. But as a kid, so I'll give you another breakdown. You talked about my teen years. Dad had his heart attack when I was 14. He had a stroke when I was 16. So I had a sick dad. So now any prospects of leaning on him and going to him, I felt like more of a burden, because you always tell, hey, you the young kid. You grew up as a kid. Hey, stop bothering people. Go away. You always say you're hungry. You always say this.
Right.
I went from being the burden to putting that burden on myself and not sharing all this stuff. Like when
Right.
dad got sick, that really devastated me every time something would happen because he had a couple of heart attacks, had a stroke, and then I had to make a decision like, well, can I grow here? What can I do here? I can sit here and watch my parents deteriorate, or I could try to go make a life for myself. But when it came down to expressing that, I didn't have the words. I literally just went and told my mom I want to move, and then
You told
she was
you told
devastated.
her that?
Yeah,
Ooh, do that.
yeah, she was devastated because I'm her baby, and I was raised to help because I was in a household where dad needed a little help, and because he had health stuff going on, and they was fighting the job and stuff like that. Because when he had that stroke, they had to deal with his job situation, so that was a whole nother thing. So my whole life of kind of being pushed to the side and not being acknowledged as much, and yeah, of course, a ton of good times, but I'm doing backwards inventory. I went and just told my mom I need to leave. She said, "Well, why are you gonna leave? Where you gonna go? What you gonna do?" I was like, "I don't know. I'll figure it out."
Right, right. You said, hold on, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. But I don't want to be here and be a burden. When you taking care of pops, things ain't always good, but it's better. But I don't need to be here. I don't need to
Right,
be a problem. You know what I'm
right,
saying? My anger
right,
used to be so bad they used to separate me from my cousins. Like, oh no, you
right,
can't hang out with him because you violent. Like you don't want to talk. You just want to swing at people. So
right,
I had transitioned from that to put myself in a situation where I can be who everybody else wanted me to be, but I could always be myself with a few people. Like you. I would come to your apartment over there on Chambers and we would turn
right,
up. Because that was the
right.
only time I could really not be the good kid and not be the because that's a burden too to see your parents struggling to not want to be the extra struggle layered on top. So I decided to go do my dirt and experience life and do other things outside of their vision, just like
For
they
sure.
didn't share family issues and they didn't share real pressing deep conversations with me. So in a way, I learned the compartmentalization to not cry because nobody shared deep, intimate stuff with me because I was a child. I didn't
Yeah.
share deep, intimate stuff with anybody else because I didn't know what that looked like. Like even when Granny died, I got put in therapy. So you got therapy, a therapist asking me questions that my parents should be asking. And that tells my brain that, well, you can't answer or have hard conversations with your parents. They need a professional to do that. That was my take from being sat in front of a stranger and being told to spill my guts about my grandmother passed.
Man,
Why
listen.
come I can't have this conversation with my parents? So then I realized they didn't know either. They was just doing what they could to appease
Right.
my behavioral shift from my grandmother dying rather than having that conversation. So
You
I
talking about
just
when Granny died? When
yeah, I
Granny died.
had bro, I had a hard time. I got violent with everybody and it was just an issue and we did the therapy thing, but that just made me realize that some people whether through lack of knowledge or lack of motivation, they're just not equipped to deal with the emotional side of people in general. And unfortunately, that falls on the shoulders of men because women,
Exactly.
girls will cry in the middle of a funeral. The last time I remember crying was at Pop's funeral, and I was standing next to you. And the only reason I did it is because I felt comfortable next to you. But even standing in a room full of my own family, I felt like an outsider because
Yeah.
I had
And you
always
know what,
secluded
brother?
myself.
Let me say this to you right now, man. I'm sorry I wasn't there a lot when you was younger. I wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to be there with you to, because I always wanted a big brother. Believe it or not, you know what I'm saying? On my mama's side, my mama had three daughters and me. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And then my stepfather's sons, they weren't around. So, thank God I had good friends and my cousins, you know what I'm saying? But like I always wanted a big brother or a little brother. And I
Right.
always once I knew that you was born, bro, I can't tell you how I felt about it. Like I really just wanted to be around you. I wanted to be around my little brother. I
Right.
always wondered. I was like, why I can't go, be a big brother to my little brother. You know what I'm saying? So I want to say I'm sorry to you for not being there, but the circumstances was different. And
Yeah.
I'm glad that we're able to talk to each other, do business with each other now. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
brings like major joy in my spirit to be able to do business with you and build our family brand up, our legacy up. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I promised myself I would do that when Daddy died. Like I was really indifferent, man. I'm gonna keep it real with you. When Dad died, I was really indifferent. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I still deal with some things right now with it. You know what I mean? Because I feel like I never got to experience him like I wanted to. Even
Right.
now it's kind of hard for me not to get emotional about it. And I want y'all to know that's watching. I don't have any apprehension about crying in front of you. You know what I'm saying? But like when Daddy died, I was so hurt. You know what I mean? I was so hurt behind it because him and I had just started building our relationship with each other. You know what I'm saying? The one that I
Mhm.
yearned for when when I was younger. You know what I mean? The one that I really just really wanted. I was so angry with him because I felt like he just left me out hanging out to dry, and he was over there taking care of his perfect little family, and it was a whole bunch of mixed emotions with that, right?
Mhm.
So the reason why I wanted to talk about this with you is because I mean, I love you and I trust you, you know what I'm saying? But also the boys that I work with. Just for y'all out there listening, I work for a very wonderful nonprofit organization where we mentor 150 little boys in the greater St. Louis metropolitan area. Uh, Little black boys get to come and get mentored, and poured into, and somebody listening to their problems. But the reason why I wanted to have this conversation is because I see a lot of myself in them. As a matter of fact, I see a lot of you in them.
Mhm.
I see, and what's more relevant, what's more relevant about it is that I see all of us having similar experiences.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so that that compelled me after my car accident. And this was something that we had been planning. Remember, you and I had told you about it after my mama died. I was like, "This is what I'm building. I'm building I Am a King. It's more than a brand; it's a declaration. I want to change the narratives." So this conversation is relevant to a lot of men because there's a lot of men out there that have unresolved issues, and they are just walking around maintaining, but they're empty shells of men. Would you agree with that?
100%.
Just walking around,
One.
just shells,
Yeah.
and they're looking for the replacement love in relationships with women. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I remember that I would do that a lot. Trying to fill those voids. I would join myself to people who had similar toxicity. You know what I'm saying? Where they call it the trauma bond. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But
Scratch your itch.
yeah, scratch your itch. So you know, we call this black therapy because that's exactly what it is. You and I came up with the black therapy idea because black people don't want to go to therapy. So why not bring them onto our virtual couch and allow them to air out their issues that they possibly had, or not even air it out, just to vent. I don't think that we as black people have spaces to vent about these little personal things that go on inside of our families. We just pressed
Mhm.
and pressed and pressed and pressed to move forward. But somebody needed to talk to little Reggie. Somebody needed to have a conversation with little Kevin. So with that, I got a guest coming on right now. Really good friend of mine, uh, good brother, going through his troubles with his ups and downs. And I told him we'll have this conversation together tonight. Um, this is just a open therapy session for anybody who wants to come on and just talk. Just get it out. Just come have a conversation with other men that are having the same issues. And sometimes decompression is just the thing that you need to do to keep you from spazzing out. You might just
Yeah.
need to talk to somebody. You might just need to air it out. So with that, I want to bring into the chat a really good friend of mine, family member of ours, on my mom's side, a cousin. We've done music together. Real good brother, Johnny Benz. I'm about to let him in. Y'all give a round of applause and a shout out to Johnny Benz. See if this brother's ready to come on. Where you at, John? John, where you at? Johnny Benz. We're gonna let him get in here, y'all. We doing it organic tonight. He is the artist that is on the intro music. That here he is. What's up, John? John.
Man,
Yo, what
can
up?
y'all
What
hear
up?
me? What's up with it? What up? What up, y'all?
Mic check. What's good, bro?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you good. Can you hear him, Reg?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, for sure. I
Yeah.
was just telling them, and welcome to the conversation, bro. Welcome to the platform, Dirty Laundry. We unpack hard truths and the hard baggage that affect the Black community. And tonight we are talking about Black men don't cry. Do we cry? Do we need to cry? Do we need therapy? Do we
Right.
need to air it out?
Right.
You can't
Yeah.
say that you. I think we do. What you think, John? Hey,
Oh yeah.
hey, let's give our newly added person to our show. Give him a round of applause, Johnny Benz. Y'all in the building. Johnny Benz.
Power to the people, man. For real. That's what it really come down to. And man, I gotta just say it's a blessing. I appreciate y'all, having me on, because this is something that I really been wanting to do. Just on a common level among men, I try to share conversations that other men can relate to,
Right.
and not to make it too much about, my own personal what you call soapbox or whatever. But I know this ain't that, because we all open ears.
Hey, look,
I
but
know,
this dirty laundry, brother. You
yeah,
can air it out.
you're
Air it
right,
out. This is a
right.
safe space. This is a safe space. Safe space.
Yeah, I know. I ain't nervous to do that. I'm not nervous to do that, for real.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir.
so just jumping right to it. For one, I'm gonna reverse it. The therapy is that's probably one of the most important things in the Black community that's not happening. And
It's
that's
not.
just what that's just what it
That's
is.
what it is. Yes, man.
You
It's just
know,
what it
a lot
is.
of the
My
time.
first therapy session. I had my first therapy session after the car accident. But go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
No, go ahead and build. We can build on it.
Yeah, but I had my first therapy session after the car accident, and I was feeling some type of way about it. Like, what is this gonna do? I'm gonna walk in here and share my problems with this lady. It was before the car accident, actually. I'm like, what am I gonna do? Walk in here and share my problems with this person? How is this gonna magically help me in any kind of way? But once I started into it, and they didn't have any bias. You know what I'm saying? Can you hear me?
You broke up a little bit.
Yeah, you was
I said
breaking up, cuz.
it was important for me. I'm sorry, y'all. It was important for me to be in a space where I felt comfortable enough. But once I got into therapy, it was like it was a neutral zone. It was a space where I could express my true feelings without feeling judged, without feeling like I can't say this because this person is affiliated in some kind of way. They have a dog in the fight. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? It was just a safe space. And then the more I was in it, because I remember I had a problem with talking about my me being abused when I was a child, and really talking about my stepfather and saying that about him. And she was like, why do you feel like that? It's your truth. So now I feel liberated. I feel free. I feel free to express myself in ways that I never felt before, because the way she described it is that I was in an invisible prison.
Mm.
I had been put into an invisible prison, and I was ashamed. You know what I'm saying? I cried a lot about my situation. And like I said, towards the topic, black men don't cry. We really do cry, but most of my niggas prone to violence from years of crying in silence.
Mhm.
All right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So tell us about your experience. Tell us who you are. Tell us where you're from. What's, just give us the rundown, babe.
Oh yeah, man. So I grew up on the north side of St. Louis, Walnut Park. Um, I have a well knitted family. Even though we grew up in the hood, all of my family was always close, so it wasn't never no crazy stuff, or you feel like you can't reach out or connect with your people like that. It just wasn't that for me. We grew up a little poor, but that's only because there was a lot of us and shit.
How many? How many was in the house, big dog?
Shit, at the time it was 5 kids, two adults, man. It wasn't never no food in the fridge,
There
so
was never
shit.
no food in the
Never no
refrigerator.
food ever, nigga. So shit, that was just that's just a hard background coming up, struggling, and it was high crime in the '90s in Walnut Park, Northside.
Yes, sir.
You
Yes,
know,
sir.
like anywhere else in St. Louis, shit for real. It was rough. So, uh, got to be able to come up somewhat from a decent schooling and being able to do sports and accelerate and join different programs. Shit, then being a mentor growing up, going into becoming a mentor in my teenage years. Taught at a lot of different schools. Open up a lot of programs dealing with STEM, STEM for
Yeah,
Black kids.
yeah.
You know, and I always thought that you know, as a kid, for me, I was into STEM, but shit, that wasn't what it was called. You know what I'm saying? We had Legos. Big Mama had us, shit in the living room playing checkerboards, all kinds of different games and shit. But I used to like to build, so
Right.
I'd be building any old kind of shit with these little pieces called connect pieces. So I
Mhm.
always was I was fascinated with just building. So that's who I am for real. I'm the third oldest of seven brothers, and man,
Seven
it's all
brothers.
good.
Man,
Seven brothers, man. Yeah,
bro, listen,
Seven.
it,
woo!
it's yeah,
Seven brothers. You had to be tough
yeah,
growing up in that house.
nigga,
Seven brothers. You got seven brothers. Hey, bro, that's
nigga,
crazy
and
work
you in the
right there.
middle, nigga. You in the middle,
Crazy
nigga.
work
So
right
you
there.
you you gotta lay down some punishment. You gotta nigga fight off some punishment.
So,
So
you
yeah,
said that it was just to expound on what you said about it being uh, food being scarce in the house. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? And growing up with seven brothers, you know, that had to be a tough situation for your parents. You know what I'm saying?
for sure.
How was that? How was your relationship with your parents coming up? How did that affect
Man,
you?
I'm gonna be real. I've always had a really good relationship with both my parents because they both were they were kind of old school traditional. So because they were together,
Yeah,
I've only seen them as married. So that household was something through the fucking hood, just coming up from struggling in that kind of brought the essence of some shit all the way together. And you really didn't even think that I didn't consider myself being poor until I had to reflect as I got older. I'm like, man, yeah, we was just coming up, we really was just
Mhm.
coming up. So,
yeah. I built this sort of like a resilience in you. Like Reggie and I were having a conversation. This is my brother Reggie. I don't know if you met
for
Reggie
sure.
or not.
Oh yeah,
My
already.
What up?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
Power, what up, Reggie Bird?
Black Power. You already know.
Yes, sir.
So Reggie and I were talking about how a lot of times, before you got in the conversation, a lot of times growing up in adverse situations like that create a stoic demeanor in boys, and just a rigid demeanor in men, period, because they feel like they have to overcome all the time. It's always one of them things where they have to face a challenge without being fearful, without having emotions behind it, without being able to express themselves in a space where they're I would even call it vulnerable.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
How do you feel about that? What are your what? Because I know you have. Do you have any sons? You got sons, cuz I know you got
Yeah, I
sons.
got two sons and 3 daughters.
Yeah, you got two
Mhm.
sons. So
Yeah.
how do you feel about them being expressive, like them being
Uh
able to show emotion? Do you shy away from it, like boy? Because you know when you was coming up, remember this when you was coming up, you hurt yourself. The girls, they used to get the, oh, that's my baby. Come on, baby. Dad. Mama love you. Daddy love you. Don't nobody hurt my baby. But when you fall and hurt your leg, you
good.
get your ass
Walk it
up and walk
off.
to the ground.
Yeah.
No.
Nah,
What
nah,
you think
nah.
that did to her?
You ain't gonna put that on me, cuz. Nah, I was just joking. Shit. Nah, nah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be real. Um, shit. I can say it was somewhat necessary to do that because you were coming out of the '80s and that
okay.
the crack era just was still kind of hot throughout the '90s. Still hot
Okay.
fucking now. I mean, for real,
Yeah,
it's still on
listen,
crack.
it ain't
Like,
died.
believe
It
this
hasn't
shit or not.
died.
Mhm.
I
But
got plenty of OG elders on drugs that I still be trying to support, try to help them get up out of their
it
lifestyle every
touched
day. For real, I'm not fucking around.
it
Uh,
touched our family.
hell
It
yeah,
touched our family. It touched that's a real thing. Listen, you that touched a lot of black families, didn't it, cuz?
hell yeah,
Yeah, it
hell
wrecked a
yeah.
lot of black families. But go ahead, cuz. Go ahead.
Okay, so it wrecked a lot of black families, but even before that, in the '70s and '60s, they had that gay shit. And no disrespect, I don't want to say it the wrong way, get you
My disclaimer:
canceled.
we do not
But
have any problem with people's sexual preferences here at Dirty Laundry Podcast. We do not discriminate against
I
anybody.
was just
We are
saying.
the
I just
LGBTQ
said.
plus community. None of these views are ours. You know how they get us cut? We'll give a disclaimer quick. None
Nigga,
of the
right,
views expressed
please,
on this
nigga.
show is directly affiliated
This
with
ain't right.
those
Right.
notified or Dirty Laundry Podcast.
Like, please don't
You heard
cancel
it
us.
first,
Right. Nigga, this is not, I ain't affiliated.
right? I
Nah,
said
I'm
what we're
just
saying. None of the views expressed or directly consent of. You know how they get that disclaimer right out the gate. But go
Bruh.
ahead.
Hey, so cause I do want this shit to be heard, man. I don't want no
Go
whole
ahead,
shit
man.
to stop it.
Air this shit
But
out. We on rent cycle, y'all. This is
so
rent cycle.
cause for real, we gonna make this work like beyond what the fuck we normal ass podcast shit. Not saying it for nobody, no dissonant, but we trying to expand that shit. And with
Yeah.
the way that boys was raised back in the day in the '90s for me, and how girls was raised, this was the beauty of it. The fact that girls did get a little of that privilege, like, oh, okay, go ahead, a little favoritism amongst their men, amongst that man or amongst that father figure. It made more traditional and respect for women. And they had more respect for manhood. That's for fucking sure.
Mhm.
I can call the motherfucker up right now as far as the girls female from that era, and she gon' concede to yeah. Now a nigga do this, but I slap his ass. But for the most
So
part, nigga, I
so
was
so
taught not to put my hands on niggas.
so basically, you saying stoicism is necessary for the alignment of the nuclear black family. You have to have. Is that what you're saying?
I don't want to just box it in just to a stoic mentality because you
Okay.
could be stoic and just be on some frivolous selfish shit. And
Correct.
yeah,
Correct.
and that's not what I'm talking about. This is more so dealing with like the essence of what we know is chivalry, but it's really the fuck what we created in African custom and tradition, or black custom and tradition.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever your whatever you subscribe to, I'm
Right.
talking to our black culture, our holy black culture. I
Well,
think we can agree with
that's what
that.
we're doing it for,
Yeah,
baby. That's
that's it.
exactly what we're doing it for. Let's get it.
So in our holy black culture, you had a holy seat, and that was for the queen. She had her queen seat, and the king had his kingdom, the whole house, the whole mother, everything, the whole
Exactly.
rule.
Exactly.
So in that perspective, things in society, they don't want the house even together.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So how the fuck are we talking about characteristics of some shit that's torn apart right now
Correct.
without really getting to what's causing us to do this silly stupid shit? For
But
real.
that you boy, you preaching to the choir now. But I'm saying, in terms of being able to express yourself emotionally, do you believe that that's something that black men should be able to do, or should we suppress our emotions, and replace that with a more stoic persona?
Nah,
Because
that's
a lot of black men, if you look out in society right now, a lot of these young dudes are crashing out. That we call them the YNs. They are crashing out because they lack emotional intelligence and they haven't a place
and they
to
don't know.
express.
Cause
And I think it's a correlation. Look, and I think it's in direct correlation with how uh, black men have been emasculated. To your point, but I digress. Go ahead, expound.
you didn't digress. That's actually inclusive. It goes exactly with what we
It
was
goes
talking about
exactly
for
with
real.
it. Right.
So
Exactly.
you right on
Exactly.
point. And to add to that, uh Stoicism is more some Greek shit. It's
Yeah.
not something that's from our customary
Agreed.
perspective.
That's
That
why I can say
individual
very.
sh- that
That's
individual shit is dead. It always has
it is
been. We ain't
for
never
sure.
been that type of people. Whether
For
you
sure.
have a religious perspective of what, we always came together as a group and said,
That's right.
okay, now, nigga, if you tripping and you get voted the fuck out, nigga, it ain't gonna take shit to
Right.
get your ass
You
out.
out.
For
You
real.
out.
That ain't
That's
gonna
right.
that ain't gonna be a problem.
That's
But
right.
the problem is what you said. These young cats think that they out here being brave, but you really being a coward.
Yeah.
You really being a coward, because really it takes some real strong shit for your ass to be faced with bullshit culturally, and then go back and correct your own shit you didn't even the fuck create.
I'm telling you.
You
I'm telling
corrected
you.
shit you didn't even
I'm telling
fuck up.
you. So you telling me, if I'm hearing you correctly, and I hear you loud and clear,
I know.
right? Our
Yes.
boys lack emotional intelligence, right? And it's because the lack of masculine energy in the household,
Fuck yeah.
right? But the question that still looms is, do we bring back stoic masculinity into our households, or do we bring back fathers that are balanced emotionally, mentally,
Yeah.
spiritually, and able to coexist inside of the household? So, do black men cry? Are we supposed to cry? Do you think we supposed to cry?
Let me go one and two with that. The first point, stoicism is again not our culture. So whenever some shit feel like it's like you having to work harder to make that shit work, it ain't you 9 times out of 10 you shouldn't be doing that shit. You
I
know,
agree.
for real. So as far as natural black masculinity, look at what we're doing. We ain't whenever you on the microphone, I may overrun with a oh my bad, King. It ain't you you can go ahead. In fact, oh no, please elaborate. I actually want to know more of what you had to say. That listening shit, not listening, man, that's the whole shit I've ever met or ever seen. Your motherfucker can't listen. That's some whole ass shit. For real, because you really lacking the greatness that God is about to really put on your ass. Like wisdom, it exudes listening behavior.
Correct, Mundo.
In order for you to get
Correct.
that wisdom, you got to be a listening motherfucker. And I ain't meaning to, get vulgar with it, but sometimes niggas just don't want to hear the shit soft. You know,
Right.
they don't want to.
Exactly.
And that
Very
goes back to the idiom of what the fuck you just said. Can I say shit, or can I show a balance of not being over just this angry or
Right.
disrespectful person without you taking it as a Rudy Poo effect on some bullshit that's really gonna get you fucked up? Because I personally always am prepared, like, hey man, I don't come to down people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not coming to start some shit, but I surely will. I'll finish that motherfucker like it's no problem. So that's the real masculinity that these youngsters ain't really taking that shit in. They
right.
not taking it in. Nah, they can cry. I do want my sons, and I always encourage my son, come talk to me, man.
Mhm.
You don't have to hide shit from me, even if you fucking up.
Right.
Now you start lying and shit. That's when shit start. My nigga, my granny used to always say she was a real OG. Uh, Nigga, if you lie, you'll steal. And if you
And if
steal,
you
you'll
steal,
kill.
you
You'll
kill.
kill. Yep.
On me.
That is
And that
something
shit,
that
that when I was fucking
if
nigga
you lie, you
5,
steal.
nigga.
And if
And
you
I'm
steal,
36 right
you
now
kill.
talking about this shit.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So, and that's why we're having this conversation. I'm glad that we are able to be men in this space that say, yeah, we cry all the time. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is do you feel safe crying around other men? There's this thing going. It's this thing. If another dude see you crying, he gonna be like, ah man, what you crying for? Some men, I know. So I got some
Mhm.
brothers, right? I talk to a lot of my partners. Be like, man, I ain't cried in years. I be trying to, but I can't. What you think that's about? What do you think that is?
It's a lot of shit. Lord, did you want to jump in on it?
I'm just soaking it up, bro. But I can say this.
I'm just poking it up, bro.
I
Head
am. No,
ass.
look, I'm
Black
learn. I'm
Power.
hey,
Black
I'm
Power.
learning.
Black
I'm
power.
learning from both of y'all because it's good to have all these perspectives. But one thing I can say is time and place. And I know that people want to absolute on both sides, but like Kev was saying, I do think it's balanced. Cause like I've encountered people, family members and stuff, they come from other places and they complain and they can't hold water.
Mm.
They can't get themselves to an emotional state to make a conscious and clear decision. That's where the issue of dysregulation is coming in.
Exactly.
So what I'm saying is a lot of these YNs, right? The young guys that don't have the guidance that they need, they resort to the lowest common denominator or the most common denominator, which is the environment. So they either acting like they friends or they acting like whoever at home. So there's a cultural aspect. If
Mm.
all you learning from is the people around you and they ain't no good, you're not gonna get good fruit poured into you. If all you learning from is from the TV and everything on TV ain't no good, it's teaching you to spend and consume and overtake rather than community and love and edification, you're not it's not gonna be good. That's why I really commend what you and Kevin doing by being in the community and helping other men to have the guidance that they need. Now on the other side, it's experience.
Yeah.
What you have experienced and what you want to experience will dictate how you react to something. Have experienced or want to experience. So I wanted a different outcome for my life. So I chose to set aside a lot of those burdens that was carrying me. But you couldn't really do that without the conscious decision to change yourself. That's where therapy comes in. But when it comes to like crying and stuff like that, there needs to be a status quo of are you being a man or are you overreacting? And the overacting comes from the dysregulation. You don't know how to deal with your emotions, so I'm gonna pull a gun and shoot you. I don't know how to deal with my emotions, so I'm gonna crash out uh, at the mall in front of so and so who disrespected me or did whatever, not thinking of the consequences to come. Did we lose him? Oh,
No, 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 no.
Okay. So I think that's a big deal about it is having enough guidance to choose, right? And
Right.
having enough regulation to choose. One thing about me, and I have this conversation with a lot of people, I can think of some really bad things to do, but I don't do all of them because there are repercussions that come with my actions. But some people miss that part of their brain that allows them to go through all the courses of action. All they know is whatever action is comfortable to them, whether that be anger and all these other things. But emotions are powerful things. It's energy in motion. You
Yeah.
can use your emotions to regulate to put you in a situation to where you're back in control. The biggest thing is control. Men, a natural thing that we have going for us from the dawn of creation is control. We was put in dominion over things. So it only makes sense that the thing against us is the inability to control.
That's an interesting stance. Go ahead, Johnny. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, let Lord keep going, man. Don't break it. Don't break the bill, nigga. Keep going, Lord. For real, because I was like, nigga, keep going, bro.
Right.
For real.
So now you take other people's perception. Oh, you lashing out because somebody did something to me and it was public. So now I need to go do something public to other people. But what I realize is I use my emotions as when they tell me to leave. If I'm having a conversation with somebody and they talk it down to me and they make me feeling inadequate, I have the choice to not let them be in my vicinity. I am not going to change them because that is exhausting. I can use that energy for other things. But a lot of people, because they're built up on a persona of how they are perceived, I'm not going to let nobody dog me out and treat me a certain way. Whereas me, this has come through self-development. If you want to treat me however you want to treat me, it's your loss because I know my value. So it comes back to knowing your value and being able to control yourself. You can control the atmosphere around you.
Yes, sir.
Like you were saying, you got family that's doing certain things. I love my family. I love my family differently. Like 100, but like certain situations, I just don't put myself in because we're not on the same wavelength. So either it's gonna consume me, and I deal with the negative effects, and I can't rely on myself to give the energy it takes to consume them, which is convert them to my way of thinking. So I can only be an example. And I have people ask me, like, bro, you chilling because stuff don't matter, bro. I only put energy in the things that don't matter at the moment. But that comes from me having goals set of where I want to go and how I want to influence and the type of interactions I want to have. So if I get somebody, even if it's money on the line and they get on the phone with the rah, and I know there's going to be a headache, hey, man, we not good clients. We not a good fit. Because it's not that you're not bringing the money I need. Money is not the only factor. I need peace as well.
Yes,
so
sir.
if I got a lady in my life, hey, we was cool for 3 to 6 months, but I have this trajectory set up for my life. If you is manipulating that in any way, hey, I got to have enough integrity to say, yo, this is not a good fit. And rather than me hold on to something that don't belong to me because it doesn't fit in the environment I'm building, I'll let you go and somebody else will fill that spot. And that could be with any relationship. I'm not going to put a polar bear in the jungle. You like it cold. I need warmth around me. So go over there with them cold people. You know what I'm saying?
Man, you got it. You got it, Lord. Hey, let me just say this. for the podcast, the future of the podcast, man, it's looking like the big three out here, man. We in alignment, my nigga. For real. This is true. This is real positive ass alignment where, you're not seeing this shit every day, man. Let me just be real. You're not seeing this every day. It's hard to get black men on the same page sometimes, even though we agree with a lot of the same shit. Right? We agree a lot of the same problems we have. The fuck, they knew that in the 80s and shit, and they took it serious. They like, man, nigga, y'all fucking around in these little relations, nigga, you better, nigga, cut bait and fucking move on.
Right.
It's real.
Socialization is a real thing. You know what
It
I'm saying?
is.
So we all, I mean, for those of us who are melanated in the Americas, right, we do experience the same woes.
Fuck
We
yeah.
do experience it. I mean, black people have between a 64% and a 70% single parent household rate in this country. We got young black men live on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and all of the social media handles crashing out,
It's a
killing their significant others.
it's a cry for help though, cuz
It's a cry for
it's
help.
a
That's
cry
what
for
I'm
help.
saying.
But back to you said, can black men cry?
Can black men cry?
Mhm.
That's that
Can we
point. Cause how you gonna have a cry for help when your ass can't even cry
You can't even cry.
without being looked at like, oh, you a little bitch. You a little bitch. You a little bitch for
Listen,
crying, huh?
is that not
No,
black
you a
culture?
little bitch for not crying, nigga. You gonna let somebody
Listen,
tell you can't
the
feel a
hard
certain
part,
way?
listen, check this out. The hard part
Come on,
about
man.
this is that even our women do not want a man that is overtly expressive. They would rather have the guy be more rigid,
Oh,
right?
yep.
But what's crazy about that is that when a man doesn't have a place to dump his emotions, that's why you see a lot of black women being killed.
Bro, you could take that a step
Nigga.
farther.
Is
You
that
could
not
take,
why?
Nigga,
You know
yes,
what?
check that
bro,
part. But go ahead, Lord. Check
Hey,
that, cuz you knocked that shit out. Lord,
the,
double up on the shit.
the inability to process your emotion is not intuitive to ownership.
Mm-hmm.
When I run a
Say it back, so run it back
I
again so we
your
all can understand.
the inability to control your emotion is not intuitive to ownership, meaning
About
taking
again.
care of your family, taking care of your business, taking care of the future. Here's
That's
why.
right.
If I gotta go to a meeting that's not so good, but I gotta go to another meeting that's good right after that, I gotta shelf that first conversation so that I can be fully present in the next conversation.
For
And then
sure.
after all the work is done, I walk into my house and my baby girl is looking up at me. I'm not gonna carry the agitation from meeting one and meeting two and put that into her arms when I grab her. So
Right.
being able to process quickly and move on to the next thing. And you know what? If it's big enough for me to do a Saturday, me and my wife will go out to dinner and I'd be like, this is a problem. You can eat and have your stomach full, and I'm a vent. And I'm gonna let you know what's going on. It don't have to be in our relationship, but it's a situation where I put myself in an environment where I could do that. And some people are like, oh, you took it to dinner, you paying for it. No, I need her to be comfortable because what I'm about to tell her is going to be uncomfortable. It's
Right.
just a courtesy.
Yeah.
But us being able to process faster will put us light years ahead of whatever our life trajectory is. Because if a boss can tell you, hey man, you need to work harder, and it make you mad, but you haul off and actually work harder for those 7 to 15 days, he just made money off of your discomfort. Why come you can't make money off of your discomfort? Hey man, I look at my daughter all the time and be like, you know what, she gonna want something. And I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna take this next phone call so whenever she asks, she can have it. That's you got to think ahead instead of me being like, oh no, that dude disrespected me. I'm going off when I walk into the job. I'm gonna film it. Like I like watching people quit because I hope they got a entrepreneur. Hey, I hope they got an entrepreneur job to go to, right? I hope they got their own
like
thing
watching
going on.
people quit.
Look, it was me. It was me one time, bro.
Exactly.
I got a tie from Jack in the Box on this wall right here when I was manager at Jack in the Box. It was the worst food service job. I hated it, but I always remember that people used to quit in the most extravagant ways. Right? But you know why? They not quitting because they hated the job. They quit it because they hated themselves because they were allowed to be used for so long.
Yes.
And I think that has a lot to do with our emotions. We got stepped on in our relationship for too long without telling it or nipping it in the bud, and now it became systemic. And now you sitting here choking down tears or choking down anger every time they do something disrespectful. You stayed at a job and you allowed them to treat. And now we don't have problem resolution, right?
Yeah.
Skills. So when your job is not paying you right, you need to learn how to write a corporate letter due to the amount of whatever increase in revenue. I need a pay increase, right?
Yeah.
But people won't do that. They'll wait until they ask you, oh, can you stay a little later? And like, no, you always picking on me because I'm willing to do it and I'm a good worker, yada, yada, yada. Y'all need to, like, not even y'all, because I'm dealing with it.
Yeah.
You gotta play chess, not checkers.
That's right.
People who play. Go ahead.
No. You got to play chess, not checkers. So we got 10 minutes, right? We got 10 minutes till the show is up. 3 minutes. Tell us why you think black men should cry or shouldn't cry. Lord Reg, go.
I think they should cry because crying is the gateway to actually experience and understanding your own emotions. And when you can experience and understand your own emotions, you can drive those and use them as a catalyst to get things done. If you are an anxious person, you have a superpower. Why? Because you are aware of what needs to be done. You just need to figure out the other side of procrastination to get it done, and you'll move faster than anybody else. If you have an extreme affinity to anger, that's just the other side of passion. You can sell anything with passion, but you don't know how to access those because those emotions are there, but there's a dark side and a light side to every single emotion. So if you're experiencing the negative side, there's an equal and opposite positive side that you can use to your advantage. And at the end of the day, is you versus you. If you allow other people in your life, external stimulus to affect your mood, how you move, how you act, how you interact, how you treat your people, how you treat your wife, how you treat your kids, there's a problem because they moving you with the joystick. You ain't in control. So my first thing would be self-discovery. Get in control, and part of that is losing control so that you know what components you're dealing with. When you got an old raggedy car, you got to start it and listen for the clanks and listen for the leaks. Look for the leaks and listen for the whistles in the house, and then you can start breaking it down like, all right, this needs to be restored, this needs to be restored. But if you don't do the evaluation, you build in a supercar on top of a lemon. You got to pull yourself out of lemon status and really understand why you be doing stuff. And it's not for other people to know. So the next time somebody piss you off, you can look at them and be like, it's not you. It's not me, it's you. You mad about whatever, but I'm choosing not to be mad about it. Simple. And if it's a person that is just habitually doing that, you gotta be strong enough to cut them off. Sometimes your healing comes from excess baggage. It's wounds that still got the knife in there. It's gonna hurt to pull them out, but they only heal after you pull the knife out. So sometimes it's your mama, your daddy, your cousin, your ex that still got some type of attachment
to you. It could be anybody.
It could be anybody. But get free first, and then as soon as you get free, find somebody that you rock with for life and get them free. And then they can be your friend. That's what Kevin is to me. He can call me anytime, like, hey man, I need some gas. I need you to hype me up. I need you to juice me up. I got you. Because I already know. I know what it's like to sit in an environment where ain't nobody on your side. But guess what, bro? I'm on your side.
I double down on there, my dude.
Right.
I double down on that, Lord Reg, man. Hey, do applause for that, cuz.
Hey,
throw applause on for that.
I will clap it up for that, y'all.
Clap that shit up, man. Because what cuz new cuz Lord Reg said, you do have to have the self-control. That's everything that he was talking about. It kept coming back to self-control. And
so Jonathan, you got 3 minutes. Black men, should they cry or shouldn't they?
Well, yes, they should cry. And what I was going to segue to is just don't cry about everything, man. You as a black man, you the first man. So you the next step. You the next person from God. You got God created everything, and then the next person is Jesus, which is a black man. Let's remember that.
Let's remember that. Hey, that's a whole nother show. That's gonna be another dirty laundry show because we are gonna go through that. So
Yeah.
it
But
so go ahead.
to go with that, cuz yes, it's okay to cry. That's the real thing. It's not a problem for a black man to cry. The fuck? If somebody cut my finger off, I'm about to be crying like a mother. Nigga, a tear gonna come to my eye. I'm not that strong.
Mhm.
I'm not, nigga. I done had this fucking finger cut off, nigga. And I wasn't sitting up there fucking playing about the shit, nigga. I was crying about the shit.
For sure,
So
for sure.
nah, we gotta lose the facade that black men supposed to be super niggas and super humans that never have flaws or don't make mistakes or shit. Nigga don't care about nobody. That's the complete opposite. We ain't never lynched. We've never lynched by the millions. We've never disturbed a whole continent of people and moved them to a whole nother continent by way of whatever torturous mindset. We've always had love even after that. Do you want to go kill a white person right now, Lord Red?
Nope.
Cuz? No, you don't, nigga.
For reasons plausible deniability.
No, you
I
don't, nigga.
No, I don't. Just for the
No, you don't, nigga.
I'm joking, y'all. Y'all know I don't want to.
No, I bet right.
It's not in my nature.
There we go.
I'm not a
That
barbarian, so I don't feel that way. But I am passionate about cultural exclusivity for melanated people.
That's
and
it.
having spaces for us to have our experiences exclusively without people amalgamating or intruding on our experiences and telling us what we are supposed to be doing and what we aren't. And with that, y'all, we're gonna close out the show. We're gonna say good night to our guests. Hey, thanks for coming out, Johnny Benz. We're gonna have you back on the show. John, Lord Reg, you already know that's my brother. Hey, I appreciate y'all coming on the show. Tonight was a transparency show, a show where I was transparent about my own trauma and my own Black experience, my own experience with being emotional. Hopefully, we'll be able to have this conversation again and unpack and rinse and wash and air out some of our own dirty laundry. Hey, I appreciate y'all coming out, brothers. Y'all have a good night. You know what I'm saying? And we are out of here. Let me talk to my people before we leave. Once again, y'all, Dirty Laundry, we are here to unpack the hard truths and the heavy baggage that affect the Black community. Sometimes they're uncomfortable. Sometimes these conversations will not be pretty, but they are necessary. To those of you who watch tonight, we thank you for tuning in and listening to three brothers express themselves about their experiences with the Black experience. We aired it out. And once again, if you feel like as a Black man you can't cry, or you feel like there is no place for you to express yourself openly about how you feel, counseling is an option. Find somebody that you can talk to. Get with somebody that you trust, because the last thing we want you to do is hurt somebody or hurt yourself. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Take your life off spin cycle. This is Dirty Laundry. Y'all have a wonderful night and a great rising.
Hand me that Vega, dog. My daddy always told me to look before I leap and think before I speak, and watch out for the company I keep, and always pack the heat when I'm out in the streets. Keep an eye out for